It's Bodega time. Yep. What's going on, party people? The place to be. I go by the name of the BK Apologist, transmitting all the way live. New York is the city. Brooklyn is the borough. What's good? What's popping? Friday, we made it to another end of the week. Many people couldn't say that, but we can. We praise God for that. Oh, man. We're, doing double duty on Friday, man. It's definitely a thing. Shout out to my man, Adrian Jones. He's already in the chat. What's going on, sir? As always, tell a friend to tell a friend. Please, if you haven't, like, share, and subscribe. Please show love via PayPal, or if you want to show love on a monthly basis, you could become a Patreon. And of course, we have, what's going on, Mr. Green?
Green.
Glad you've returned with us. And of course, we have just some of the best, gosh darnest people you're ever going to meet on the interwebs.
In the business.
And of course, we're going to start with Victor Von Doom himself, apologist in Detroit. What's going on, sir?
What's going on? Happy to be back. Happy to see my family. What's going on, everybody?
Yes, man. We're glad to have you back. I know, it's been a hectic week for you, so
yeah,
we're glad to see
crazy. You. But I'm back.
I'm back. I'm thinking I'm back. And of course, we have the real American Phil Fox in the building. What's going on, sir?
What's up? What's up? It's good to be here. Speaking of back, it's good to be back. It's been a few weeks, so I'm glad to be here. Praise God.
Cool. Who else we got in here? We got Greater Works, who's just on the channel like mere seconds ago. Thank you, Kevin Benton. You're an amazing man of God. We appreciate not only your service to the country, but more importantly to the kingdom.
Amen.
So thank
Captain
you so much.
America.
Facts.
Amen.
We got Revelator 007. We got Matthio Simart. I butcher your name every week. Please forgive me. Yes. Shout out to John Wick. I'm actually looking forward to the next installment. I love those movies, man. Shoddy Mills in the building. What up? You know what I mean? Yes. Like, share, and subscribe. And of course, we have one of the Bodega ladies in the building who did an amazing job recently interviewing. Oh my gosh, what's up? Michelle, help save me. What's her name?
Dr. Tiffany Gill.
Thank you. That's what you're here for.
That's my best friend, so I would know her name.
There you go.
She put some spec on that name.
Hey, no doubt. And as always, even though a lot of people are acting as if the Rona is no longer here, but it is. And we would like to know what's going on in your perspective next of the woods. So, real American, Mr. Phil Fox, what's going on by you when it comes to that Rona?
Oh, it's let me pull it up. I haven't looked. To be honest, yeah, it's just been laying low, trying to stay home, trying to stay out of it. But it looks like we're on a downtrend. We have 884 new cases statewide, and our 7-day average is just short of 1,000. So that's good. We're on the downswing. But as far as I think they're looking to try to open up. Forgive me if I'm wrong, or you can correct me, Detroit. Isn't it July 1st? They're looking to open up completely.
That's what they said. July 1st, all restrictions are done and finito. Back to normal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, New York won't be far behind us. So.
Oh no, we're talking July 1st too.
Yeah, I think it's the whole country. I think because they ready to. They were really looking for that 70% vaccination rate, and once they started approaching that, they were like, all right, we can get back up. So.
Right. And of course, Flora Delicata is not happy about that. Talk to us about your neck of the woods, Miss. You're muted.
You're muted.
Okay. Mr. Doom.
Oh, I forgot she over at what's the names.
Yeah. Yeah, the twins are in the building.
The twins in the building.
So continue, Mr. Detroit.
I was wondering why she looked like she was sweating. She in the South. That's that's what's going on. She probably ain't used to that heat. Oh yeah, it's funny. Michigan. In a classic case of do as I say, not as I do. Like our governor has gotten caught multiple times breaking the rules. So she goes, you can't have more than like 6 people sitting at a table. And then she has a party with more than 6 people sitting at a table and nobody wearing a mask, gets called out for it. And then a week later, she drops that requirement. You're not supposed to go out of state without being quarantined. She goes down to Florida, comes back, gets caught doing that, and she didn't quarantine. And she just keeps breaking rules. And it's been going on for the whole 2 years. When she initially set the quarantine back in 2020, she was like, hey, because there's this thing in Michigan. Everybody go on vacation. They go up north. They got cottages and stuff up north. And so nice. She goes up. Nice. Right. The problem is, they got these boats. They keep these boats in storage. And so, you call the storage place, say, I'm coming up, get my boat out and get ready. And she did that. And the storage place told her. So she told everybody, you better not go up north. Nobody can go up north. And then she went up north and with her family and got her boat out. So yeah, it's been a funny ordeal. So the Republicans, I'm apolitical, so I'm not siding with Republicans. I'm just pointing it out. Like they've been kind enough to kindly point out her hypocrisy, her consistent hypocrisy when it comes to these matters of setting these restrictions and then completely ignoring them. So for me, I'm excited about getting back to the new normal. I just last weekend I was at a retreat with 30 people, and I'm vaccinated. Not that I'm advocating for vaccination, but I just so happen to have it, and I'm glad that I've been kind of slowly getting back to normal. We just lifted the requirement to wear a mask at church. It's optional. Do what you like. So yeah, I'm ready to get back to the new normal. I mean, we've got a high population of vaccinated people in our church as a whole, anyway. So yeah, right. I'm excited.
Cool. And we got Miss Titus 2 in the building. What's going on, sis?
What's up, y'all?
So what's going on with that Rona by you?
I don't know. I think things are getting better, though. I think like 60% of our state is vaccinated. So, yeah, that's really all I know.
Fair enough. And next to her, we got Dana Dane with Fame. What's going on?
What's popping, everybody? Good Friday. What's going on? And I don't know what's going on with the Rona, okay? They taking off masks left and right. That's all I got for you, okay? That's all I know. I don't know about no numbers. I don't know what Craig and them is doing. Don't nobody got no mask on, okay? That's it.
Thank you very much.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
So I just want to say our numbers are going to go back up. I just know it. I seen all the people. They was out in the streets. Airports is crowded and airplanes, everybody gets everywhere in the airplanes. Flights is booked to capacity. Don't make no sense. So we're going to have higher numbers in a couple of weeks because nobody wants to stay home. The road ain't over, y'all. Yeah, there many people need to be in the plane. I don't know what's wrong with these people.
Give me a mask-free hug. Come on. It's okay. It's okay.
No. I had my clear face shield and my mask on. I'm not playing with these people. No, I'm not going to be out in the streets with y'all and y'all here with this Rona. I was like, I don't like it. I don't want to be close to these people. And they just all up on each other like, hey, how are you? I'm not your friend. Don't speak to me. I don't know you. So numbers going to go up. I'm just telling you right now. I don't care how many people vaccinated because they're out here. I heard the student say 50 times, can you please put your mask up over your nose? Can you please put your mask? Like, you have to keep telling these adults this. It says it on the thing. You have to acknowledge you're going to wear your mask over your nose when you go in to check in. And they just out here like, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Sit down. So, I mean, they can pretend it's over until these numbers for Memorial Day come back in, and they're going to be like, oh, never mind.
Wow. Yes. That's amazing. That's definitely amazing. So in New York, man, the numbers are really, really, really dropping. The positive rate now is 0.59%. Total hospitalizations within entire New York State is 1,169. And sadly, there were 11 fatalities yesterday. So the numbers are dropping. They're still not at the lowest they was last summer or last winter. There was a point where I guess, when we really shut down, but we're getting there. I mean, now that we're in the 0 point section, I mean, that's crazy. And New York is hustling the vaccines like it's cracking the 80s, fam. Let me tell you, because they got pop-up shops in the train station.
Wow.
So, and they're telling you, you get the vax, we'll give you a free Metro card to get on the train. Right? Shake Shack, you get a free side order of fries. I kid you not. Nice. You get an order of fries if you show that you've been vaxxed. Nice. Right?
They treating folks like veterans, man. Go around, collect free stuff from everywhere.
What else? Now they're doing mobile. When I mean mobile, they're coming to your crib. Like for the elderly, they're doing home visits now for the vax.
Nice.
It's crazy. And then they're doing the lottery like they're doing in Ohio. They're doing the lottery now. You can win $1 million. Blah blah blah. So they're slinging that vax like it's cracking 86 over here, fam. It's crazy.
You get a vax. You
got some of that Moderna, man.
Got 2 for $5, red tops. You know what I mean? Who's got garbage down the way? You know what I mean? Wu-Tang reference. Anyway, so yeah, man. And again, I'm trying to chill. I'm not anti-vax. I'm waiting to see what happens to you when you get vax. That's what I'm on. That's the time I'm on. And
nice shirt and status too.
Oh, you're wearing yes. Yeah. Drops of hope in the building. Nice. My game plan, and probably a lot of our game plan, I think Michelle's game plan too, is we're gonna run out the clock, basically. Hopefully we get to like 75-80% vaccination rate, which is supposed to be herd immunity, right? That's what they say. So if we reach herd immunity, leave me alone. There's no need for me to get vaccinated because you're vaccinated. You're my vaccination now. Right? So I'm still trying to hold on here. So let's see what happens. But anyway, let's get into the shenanigans. All right. First off, Loki. The Marvel Studio series should be dropping, I don't know, soon. I don't know if it's this week or next week, but soon.
June 10th.
June 10th. Thank you very much. And the premise is, after stealing the Tesseract during the events of Avengers Endgame, an alternate version of Loki is brought to the mysterious Time Variance Authority, a bureaucratic organization that exists outside of time and space and monitors the timeline. They give Loki a choice: face being erased from existence due to being a time variant, or help fix the timeline and stop a greater threat. Loki ends up trapped in his own crime thriller, traveling through time and altering human history. So my question to the panel is, when it comes to time, how should Christians handle their time?
I'm not the best person to answer that because I'd be doing 1,000 things. And I don't know if all of them need to be done. So I'm not a good person to answer that. I would just say we need to handle our time wisely and make sure we get some rest, because we'll do everything but get rest. God did not intend us for us to be robots continuing on every day, doing everything without actually resting. So spend your time in the Word of God. I wake up in the morning. First thing I do is pray. Second thing I do is read my Bible. The third thing I do is actually study it. And when I say study it, I look up, whatever topic I'm going over. I'll look up whatever the topic says. I'll look up, I'll listen to different teachings on it, take notes on it to actually learn what that topic is actually teaching. So actually study your Bible. So you'll be prepared. So So when you're tired, since you don't want to take no rest, at least you'll be refreshed in the Word of God.
Amen.
If you are watching and texting or chatting with me, I am about to show my phone to the audience. Do not text me anything that you do not want them to see. All right, with that said, every day that I wake up, let's see if I can get it together. Yeah, every day I wake up, I got my little daily to-do list. Time's huge for me, and so it's like I got my little checklist, and I know that's kind of quirky, but that's just how I keep up. Like as I age and get a little older, it's hard for me to remember to do everything, and I found myself forgetting. Oh, I forgot to do this yesterday, or I forgot to do that yesterday, and then at some point it just dawned on me: smartphones are pretty smart. And so I started to use the functions on it. I use my calendar. Like I going to a wedding, July the 8th. And so I went in my phone and stuck it July the 8th, did the GPS, saw what the travel time was, stuck it in there, stuck a reminder, hey, make sure you're out of the house at this time here. So I use my smartphone for the right stuff instead of the wrong stuff. I ain't going to websites. I shouldn't be on things like that. But yeah, to me, it's like I got it's here. Well, no, I mean that's keeping it real. We Christians.
No, I appreciate that.
Some people do. Some people use it for the wrong thing. I don't do that. So for me, it's like, hey, I'm using my smartphone the way it is. Some people I hear a lot of people talking about screen time, and my philosophy is we should be redeeming things, and we should be using things to glorify God rather than being fearful of it. I just recall as a kid growing up, everybody Christians calling the TV the one-eyed devil. And it's like that's what Christians do. We always judge and condemn stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to do this human flourishing thing, and God blessed us with great technology. No one complains about a car, no one complains about a plane because they get us there faster. I'm not going to complain about my smartphone. I'm just not going to do stupid stuff with my smartphone. I'm going to use it for what it's designed to be used for. Use the calendars, use the email, and make my and redeem my time. So while I won't say that I don't waste time. I do things that there are things that I do like in a procrastinating way, but for the most part, I'm a very organized person, and I have I have set a schedule and I set timers to remind me of the most important things, and this is part of the reason why I read my Bible every day. It's part of the reason why I read other books every day. It's part of the reason why I work out. And all the other things that people look at and might say, oh, man, Chris got it together, is because I take managing my time very seriously. And I use the tools that God gave me to glorify him and produce flourishing rather than to be self-indulgent and commit sin. So, yeah.
Nicely put. Anyone else would like to talk about how a Christian should spend their time?
You should spend it with other Christians. Your time is not. It shouldn't be.
Michelle, what's with the nod in the head?
Dana know why I'm shaking my head.
You're literally spending time with other Christians. I don't know why you're not.
I think she's saying that Dana's not spending time with other people, and that's.
Oh no, Dana's spending time with all the Christians.
I know she ain't saying that. I know
she's spending time. Well, Dana's spending time with all the Christians. She know I shake my head. Though. She know what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, I know Michelle ain't saying that because we all know. No, but really, you should really spend it amongst other believers. You are built up that way. You are encouraged that way. I think God reveals himself in a deeper depth in that way when you are amongst other believers. That's one of the big things I would say too. And I would also say, you should spend your time doing something that is active. We can be really sedentary, where you just sit a lot. Mm-hmm. So do something active. Go for a walk, nature hike or something. Go shoot some hoops. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play me one-on-one because I know I'm a little rusty, but I still got it though.
I like that.
I still got it. So yeah, like do something active, like so you can be more balanced. I think as Christians, we tend to, and I said this before, like, I don't know what part of Romans, like we aren't really good at being in the world. Like he said, don't be of it. He didn't say don't be in it. Be in it. Just be in it better. Like do it better. So that would be what I would encourage Christians to do.
Amen,
Oh, I will,
amen.
MJ Jackson. Look, my low post game is still legit. I'm trying to tell you. I just need to like just a little warm up. And I'm something serious in the paint. In the paint.
After 2 years of a hiatus, I get to start playing basketball again in 2 weeks. I am so excited. Oh my
Don't
goodness.
tear
I'm so
nothing. Don't
Run up
tear
and down the
nothing.
court.
Don't
Oh,
That's
tear
the
no,
first
I'm
thing's gonna
tearing
happen.
something.
He's gonna tear
Same.
something. That's the first thing's gonna happen.
Well,
Oh,
I got a couple of 60-year-olds that I play with that run full court. Like we
Dana-
serious. Like the people I run with,
Dana's
it's an old
idea-
man crew, but we serious about our basketball.
Dana's idea of working out is doing what New York dudes do on playgrounds. She literally
He
watches
does
dudes
the gel calisthenics.
work out on
the
playgrounds,
pull-ups.
and she does those things. I work out because I work out 20 minutes a day, and I do dancing. And Tiff was like, "That's not good enough. I'm going to watch New York dudes work out on playground equipment, and that's how I'm gonna work out."
Outing her. Dang, man.
Watch
That's all
them
I'm
work out
saying.
is working out.
You know what I'm saying? That's a high quality, get your veins pumping workout.
Oh,
we
really?
have eyewitness testimony here from
Oh.
Pastor Wow. That's deep.
Did you play in high school, Dana?
I sure did.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And,
Got a real
and
ball player
Dana's
here.
tall too. In real life, she's tall. She will box you out. So
In real life, she's tall, but in
Yeah.
internet, she's short. I don't understand.
and I'm just saying, like, she's
Alternate
taller than-
universe.
She's taller than me, and I just was like, "Oh my!" But according to Shani, everybody's taller than me. But I digress.
Oh man. So let's look at some scriptures about time. Paul in his letter to Ephesus. Ty, could you read this for us?
Making the best use of the time because the days are evil.
Right. And that's basically what you guys are saying. Is like definitely, make the best use of your time. Because we live in a world that is evil, but that doesn't mean that we don't use the time to the best of our ability, right? And Romans 13:11, Titus, if you can.
Besides this, you know the time that the hour has come for you to wake from sleep, for salvation is nearer to us now than when we first believed.
Right. So, when it comes to time, and time does exist, don't listen to Kevin Wesley, who says that, there's no such thing as time, only moments. Go figure. But as disciples, as Christians, right, we know that not only do we need to make the best use of our time, we know that time is running out, and there's going to come a time when we're going to be at the throne of judgment. Mm-hmm. Now, for some of us, it's judgment. For some of us, it's welcome home, right? It's going to be a homecoming, right? And we want everyone to feel the expectation of being in paradise. So there needs to be an expectation from us to those who are either lost or on the fence or backslided. We know the time. We know that time is running out. We need to get people in because salvation is nearer to us now than when we first believe. You know what I mean? So just want to put that out there. So next up is Simone Biles becomes first woman to land the Yushchenko double pike in return to competition. Defending world champion gymnast Simone Biles became the first woman to land the Yushchenko double pike vault move in competition at the GKUS Classic in Indianapolis on Saturday. The Yushchenko double pike, a high difficulty skill historically only done by men, is a round-off onto the springboard, followed by a back handspring onto the vaulting table, and ending with a piked double backflip into the air to landing. Man, that just hurts saying it. Biles 24 performed the move and then added 2 extra hops for a slightly imperfect landing. Now, in another article, it says here that Simone Biles should be praised, not punished, for achieving a feat that was deemed impossible. Last week, ahead of the long-delayed Tokyo Olympics this summer, Simone Biles performed a new move at the U.S. Classic, the Yushchenko double pike, captured in a tweet below. The Olympic gold medalist is widely recognized as the greatest gymnast in the world, and her historic delivery of yet another never-been-done-before move shows us this reputation is well-earned. Per the New York Times, the Yushchenko double pike is so perilous and challenging that no other woman has attempted it in competition, and it is unlikely that any woman in the world is even training to give it a try. However, the undervaluation of Biles' performance by judges is bringing attention yet again to how the athlete has repeatedly been punished rather than rewarded for her greatness, and the double standards applied to reception to her performances. Specifically, Biles' execution of the Yurchenko double pike for her vault routine was given a provisional score of 6.6, similar to her scores for other vaults, and without any additional points for or acknowledgement of the near impossible difficulty of the move. Biles' talent has been criticized as somehow being unfair to other gymnasts for her ability to do what others can't, something that's often celebrated and glorified for white or male athletes. For example, Michael Phelps, a swimmer who's won more Olympic medals than anyone in history, is widely recognized and beloved as the greatest swimmer of our time. Despite his immense built-in advantages, including not just the size and proportions of his body, but how his body produces half the amount of lactic acid of the average person, which decreases his fatigue and sharply increases his recovery time. Basically, he's Aquaman, right? So what are your thoughts about this, guys, about her being treated in this manner?
It's not fair, and I don't like it. She made another move. I can't remember the name of the move that she created, and they didn't want to give her the full points of the move because other gymnasts would hurt themselves trying to do the move that she created. And so they decided to downgrade the move because of that. And I'm like, so to discourage people from doing something that they feel is humanly impossible for everybody but her, instead of giving her her reward for creating such a difficult move, you now try to discourage her from being great because you're afraid that other people won't be as great as her. There's nowhere else that you would discourage somebody from their greatness because other people are mediocre. So you want to give everybody else participation trophies, basically, right, because you're telling her, oh, we're going to underrate you and undervalue not only your commitment to this sport, but what you have done to show other young ladies that even if they can't do these, it now gives you something to strive for, to try to work harder and do better in doing these moves. I think it's very unfair, and they need to, whoever is doing this judging needs to be fired.
Yeah. Well, are you going to go, Detroit? All right. I mean, is it unfair? Absolutely. You know, and unfortunately, a lot of times what comes with greatness, specifically in sports, you know, like it sort of, this situation sort of reminds me of like, I'm a basketball guy, so I got to go back to a basketball reference. But when Shaq was playing, Shaq was so big and he was so dominant that people would just be allowed to pound on him, you know, and any other player, you know, those would be
the Hack-a-Shaq, the Hack-a-Shaq.
Yeah, the Hack-a-Shaq. You know, they started the Hack-a-Shaq. But I mean, you can look at his whole career. Like, he was so dominant that, I mean, anybody else, those would be flagrant fouls. You know, those would be flagrant fouls that would be ejectable on any other player. But Shaq was so big that he absorbed the contact. So, you know, unfortunately, that's just part of being great, you know, is that you set a new standard. And that's the great thing, though, is that she is going to set a new standard. And just like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was the first golfer to actually have a workout regimen. He was the actual one to treat golf like a sport. Up to his point, I mean, you know, these were all chubby dudes, you know, with weird looking pants. But I mean, Tiger brought style, he brought athleticism, you know, and now, I mean, you look at all the golfers now, and you know, they changed course setups because of Tiger. They changed, you know, the type of grasses that they used. at different events because of Tiger. So although it's unfair, that's the part of setting this new standard. And the other thing too that we have to look at is look at her being 24 in the gymnastics realm. She is ancient. She should be close to be retiring. Yeah, because think about it. There's girls who are 12, 13 years old who are participating at a extremely high level. And so the fact that she's able to do it, but yeah, unfortunately, this is just one of those things that it is almost an it's like an impossibility, or it's something that that individual has to carry that extra burden. And it sort of reminds us as Christians, even though we are to live in this world, right, we still have that extra responsibility to carry ourselves in such a manner that is higher, despite any of the restrictions that the world might try to put on us, despite any of the standards that the world might put on us that they might not feel comfortable with. So looking at that and setting new standards and new bars, that's just the thing that spoke to me the most about this while you were presenting it, BK, was, specifically because we do, and we're called to a higher standard. We're called to set the bar higher for the next generation. I want my kids to be better than me, not just in success of this world, but as far as their spiritual life, as far as their relationship with God. And I want the next generation, not just of my children, but of my spiritual children and my disciples, to be that much better than I am for the sake of furthering the gospel.
Well said. What do you guys feel about the double standard, though? They diminish her points for doing the impossible, but when it comes to her white male counterparts, they're celebrated for doing exactly the same thing. What's that about?
It's hard to talk about this topic because I'm pretty sure that there's some Christian brother expert out there that's going to accuse us of making everything about race. And it's not to say that everything is about race. There are plenty of times where things are changes are made because or acknowledgement is not given for valid reasons. But it's just hard to ignore. It's hard to believe that people can think that human beings cannot be human. We come from a very racialized society, 200 plus years of it explicitly. We're not all that far removed. I was just watching a story earlier. I can't remember the woman's name, but she's a survivor from the race riots in Oklahoma. She's a survivor. She's still alive today. So often we think of the problem of racism as historical when it's not all that long in the past. And then secondly, we have to realize that human beings are complex. There's plenty of things there's prejudices that we have. You ever walk into a room full of people and you just feel uncomfortable just being in a room full of people? It's like, why do you feel uncomfortable? It's like, that's just human nature. And it's likewise human nature to not realize that sometimes you hold beliefs within your mind that you haven't fully processed consciously, but because of the history of this country and the pervasiveness of racism, that they impose and perpetuate racism still today. There's a long history. They widen the lines for shooting free throws because of Bill Russell and his height. They had a no dunk rule because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I
know you took mine. I was going to bring that up. Blue Eye Center messed the whole thing up.
My bad. Serena Williams gets angry and she gets points deducted.
Right.
John McEnroe gets angry. He's everybody's hero. I vividly remember back in the 90s when ice skating in America was like a big thing. And there was this French, she was an African girl that was French, and her name was Saria Bonali. And she would ice skate and she would do a backflip while she's ice skating. And they were so mad at her because she was able to have this exceptional skill that nobody else could do. And they wouldn't credit her points for that either. The commentators would often complain. Sometimes they would say positive things like, that's so impressive. Often they would complain and just say like, that shouldn't be allowed in figure skating. So yeah, there's this long history of African-American people there being these double standards with, like I said, with the Serena Williams and John McEnroe thing, there being this sense of how dare them. And again, it's not always because people hate Black people. Sometimes it's just, it's just something that's in us, all of us, not just white people, it's in Black people. We watch, George Jefferson had racist comments just like Archie Bunker. It's like it's in all of us, because if you've been born and raised in America, that's our history. It has implications, widespread implications. So yeah, this is disappointing. And what's even more disappointing is that by simply calling it out, so many people will feel uncomfortable. So many people will want to act like it's not what it is. When, to me, it's like, well, what else is there? And it's like, all they have to do is just say it's not explicit. As long as it's not explicit, it's not real. And that's just a shame, because the world doesn't work that way. Human beings aren't that simple. Right. Yeah. My bad for stealing your thunder.
I know. I was going to say, you couldn't dunk. He was up there laying up, doing layups. But I want to say, as an athlete, as a former athlete, you are in the gym. You get up early. You do 2-a-days so you can be the best. Like, you in here running drills, doing the same thing over and over so you can be number one. So I think from an athletic standpoint, it's unfair that you robbed her of all of that hard work and dedication, just by pure work ethic. Especially if you're a gymnast, they put their body through a lot, because they put their body through a lot for her to go in day out, and then you just kind of really like give her the proverbial screw you. That's number one. Number two, what you've done for the sport is atrocious. There has been no other female, and I think it has a lot to do with gender in this case for me. No other female has ever done this. So you're saying that the first time any female has done this in competition and stuck it. Now, granted, she bounced. Okay. Even if a man bounced, you're going to knock some points. But for all intents and purposes, for the sport, she would be the standard. And your standard is 6.6. That's not even, you're not even judging for the future of the sport. There's no way. You're being very disingenuous, and you know it, and I know it, everybody in the crowd knows it. You have literally witnessed history, and you give it a 6.6. So now if I'm a little future gymnast, I'm not even going to attempt to do that, because at its best, it's a 6.6. So like they damage the sport, the growth of the sport. Because what happens? I don't know if y'all remember back in the 90s when the East Bay dunk came out, when they first got the dunk through the legs, right? When they finally got points, everybody was like, oh, snap. And then what? Everybody aspired to do what? Learn how to do the East Bay dunk. Like, that was something. But now you gave this really earth-changing move, and you gave it a 6.6?
Right, because according to their pointing system, right, the more difficult the move is, you're supposed to actually get points for that. Right. So if she's the first woman to ever do that move, you're supposed to add some more than a few points, because it's not only is it difficulty, it's history in the making, right? So.
And then she added a couple other flips with the move that was difficult to do. She added some other moves to it. Come on, y'all. And you get a 6.6? Nah, I ain't buying it.
Yeah. They damaged the sport. They did. You really you set female gymnastics back like a really giant leap and step. And instead of embracing the greatness that's in front of you. Right. But that's the thing about pride. Pride will stop you from embracing the now, the greatness now. You'll miss the train. It's people that's going to look back that actually literally judged it, and they're going to be like, man, I missed the train.
Right.
I saw something for the first time that has never been done. It's not 6.6. It's just not.
Right.
No, far from it.
Yeah.
And you know, we celebrate male athletes when they do these great feats, but we need to celebrate women when they have these great feats as well. And spiritually speaking, it's the same way. And yes, I do believe that men lead the church, but women are so important for that to even happen.
Right.
You know, women are just so powerful. And there's a source I always like to cite when it comes to this, right? And this is from John Walton in his commentary in the book of Genesis. And it talks about the word helper, right? And this is what Eve is called, right? And the word helper is common enough as a description of someone who comes to the aid of or provides a service for someone. It carries no implications regarding the relationship or relative status of the individual involved. In fact, the noun form of the word found in this verse, as used elsewhere, refers almost exclusively to God as the one who helps his people. If we expand our investigation to verbal forms, we find a continuing predominance of God as the subject, though there are a handful of occurrences where people help people. In this latter category, we find people helping their neighbors or relatives, people helping in a political alliance or coalition, and military reinforcements. Nothing suggests a subservient status of the one helping. In fact, the opposite is more likely. Certainly, helper cannot be understood as the opposite complement of leader. You know, and this is what Eve is called. You know, when the Bible says helper, it's not that she's Robin to Adam's Batman. She's not the second banana. Right. She plays a very, very powerful role, you know, when it comes to the man doing his job, you know. And I just feel like, you know, when I saw this article, I immediately thought about that. And it's like, we can't diminish the points that women make in life, period. Because that hurts humankind when we do that, right? We're not protecting humankind. We're hurting human flourishing, as Chris would say, when we don't allow women to be great, because they're designed to be great. I mean, she's the helper. She's the razor, right? She reminds us of what we're supposed to be, and that's representatives of the Most High, right? I am an imager of God. Sometimes men forget that. And when I forget that, I look at my wife and I'm reminded, oh, so that's how I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be like the Most High. You know, I am not to diminish her. She doesn't become average because I'm insecure. In fact, I need her to be great. I need godly women around me in my community to be great, because when godly women are great, the church is great. Right. That's why I'm such a supportive of the Bodega ladies, you know, because it's amazing. I mean, think about it. We have a group of Black women who are a crew who defend the faith together. Where do you see that at online? You don't. So we need to make sure that they are celebrated and not to be diminished, because they are great. You know what I mean? So I just want to put that out there. So
I'm for the streets. I'm putting that out there. I'm for the streets. Oh yeah, our 1 year anniversary is coming up June 19th. Juneteenth. Woo woo.
That's the Bodega ladies anniversary, or
Yep, our very first show
on Juneteenth last year.
So I had my free shirt on. Yep, Juneteenth was our first show.
Nice. That's what's up. Cool. So, with that being said, do UFOs exist? Logic, physics, scripture, and gratitude for divine grace. Last summer, the U.S. Defense Department issued a news release with the headline, Establishment of Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force. Its mission is to detect, analyze, and catalog UAPs that could potentially pose a threat to U.S. national security. UAPs, in case you're wondering, is government speak for unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. The Senate Intelligence Committee then called for the Director of National Intelligence to produce a report on everything government agencies know about UFOs. That report is due sometime next month. So when this report comes down, and let's say they say, yes, we have this empirical evidence that clearly shows us that we are not alone in this universe, what implications does that have for the Christian?
I don't know.
If any.
I don't know. I don't think it has any implications. The Bible doesn't make any claims about life on any other planet, so I don't think that would have any. Now that said, I think it's like physically impossible for interstellar space travel. I mean, there's like a gazillion problems with it. You know, to create a ship that has the mass to carry the type of fuel to get you from one place to the next, while at the same time not be small enough to navigate all of the debris and things in space. It's just physically impossible. There's no energy source. And I was actually watching a thing the other day where they were talking about, trying, even if they had the potential to create like use some negative photons or something to repurpose them to make them a source of energy, that at the speeds that you'd have to travel in order for you to get to the next closest place, that like the time warp, like 30 Earth years will be like 30,000 or something like that space years. So there's no one that can live long enough, or whoever who would make it on that would be communicating with complete strangers back. So yeah, interstellar space travel is virtually impossible outside of magic. So
Right.
They come here, I'm giving them the gospel.
Right.
I'm giving the gospel. They come here, I'm like, Jesus, because I don't know if you saved or not. And I don't know what y'all got going on up there in space. Do you know Jesus or not? That's really what I want to know. That's all I got for you. You come down here, I'm going to treat you like you're a human. You must be the Mago Day too if you running around here and you was created by God. So I need to know if you know Jesus. That's all I got for you, aliens. Y'all come
That's
here.
what I got for you, alien.
Y'all come here and just
Lotar, King of the Hill people. That's what I got for
whoever
you.
you are. I'm just saying, you ain't the king of kings, Lotar, so I need to tell you about it. That's what I got for you. That's the implications. We need to get the aliens the gospel.
Michelle, what happens if they show up and be like, yeah, John Calvin was right?
I'm just gonna be
man.
like, look, I'm just gonna be like, well, let me give you the gospel anyway, because that's what you thinking. Okay, I said what I said. I'm gonna give you the gospel.
They're like, we know of this Calvin. He's from Alpha Centauri, from the X Quadrant.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just waiting for BK's
Mormon
famous
alert.
segue. That's what I'm waiting for. BK's
You waiting for the
famous
segue? All right.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
You want the segue? I'm gonna give you the segue. If there is such a thing, right? I think it makes an amazing apologetic point. Why do I say that? Well, you know how many atheists will tell you that, the earth just showed up one day and we just got lucky, right? We just had like the greatest lottery ticket of all time. Everything just makes sense just because. And of course, we don't believe that. We believe that the world is created very precise. In fact, there are what we know as entropic constants, that if these things went to the left or to the right, they would not be life. Like, for instance, the entropic constant, the first one is the oxygen level, right? On Earth, oxygen comprises 21% of the atmosphere. That precise figure is an entropic constant that makes life on Earth possible. If oxygen were 25%, fires would erupt spontaneously. If it were 15%, human beings would suffocate. Right? So that's one constant. Another constant is atmospheric transparency. The degree of transparency of the atmosphere is an entropic constant. If the atmosphere were less transparent, not enough solar radiation would reach the Earth's surface. If it were more transparent, we would be bombarded with far too much solar radiation down here. In addition to atmospheric transparency, the atmospheric composition of precise levels of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and ozone are in themselves entropic constants. A third one is the Moon-Earth gravitational interaction. If the interaction were greater than it currently is, tidal effects on the ocean's atmosphere and rotational period would be too severe. If it were less, orbital changes would cause climatic instabilities. In either event, life on Earth would be impossible. A fourth one is carbon dioxide level. Just the right level of carbon dioxide is maintained naturally in the Earth's atmosphere. This is another entropic constant. If the CO2 level were higher than it is now, a runaway greenhouse effect would develop. We would all burn up. If the level was lower than it is now, plants would not be able to maintain efficient photosynthesis. And the fifth one is gravity. If the gravitational force were altered by 0.0000000000001%, our sun would not exist, and therefore neither would we. Talk about precision. Now, why is that a big deal? All these things have to be working in tandem for there to be life on this planet. If we find life on another planet, that means there's another planet that hit the lottery? Everything just worked out out of nowhere with another planet? Come on.
Right. Yeah, science tries to be reductionist in their approach, because they try to identify what they call a life zone within certain. But see, the thing is that's just propaganda, because for things to exist, and even the probability of something to exist that has the same features as us, for, like, let's say, for example, if let's just say this thing happened by chance, the atheistic view, the for something to evolve exactly the same way, have two arms, two legs, that's a mathematical impossibility for all of the things that would need to happen, just like all of these arguments you just had, for all of those conditions to be exactly the same, for us to be able, for that species to be able to be green, have two eyes, have two legs, have two arms. Those conditions are the mathematical probability is virtually impossible.
Right.
And then also, there's things called there's the mousetrap example when you're talking about evolution. There are some things that exist today that could not have evolved, right? This is a little bit off topic, but still the example is still the same, because it points to creation rather than evolution, because you have some animals that without one part, it could not evolve into what it is today. So there's this beetle, right, that literally spits out fire from its backside as its defense, and it has
that's Chris during taco night.
Yeah. Fire from the backside. The ultimate defense.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But yeah. So it has two little sacks of chemicals that once mixed create this super hot chemical reaction. You can't evolve that. And there's all these things that aren't talked about because science absolutely cannot account for this, a lot of these things. So they sell you propaganda like this type of stuff, and when really, if you look at the actual, the bombardier beetle revelator, so there's that example, and then there's, look at how they've theorized the Big Bang, right? So they went from the Big Bang to now realizing that, oh man, it's there's more to it than just that. Because a Big Bang implies that there's going to be more pieces of this over here, and there's going to be shrapnel there, but what they're realizing is that the space itself is uniform. So there's just as much space in that portion, and if you looked over here, there's just as much space in that portion, which screams creation once again. So there's all of those things and all this propaganda that is trying to lead us away from God rather than to show us, actually I have it on the screen, or on my screen, and I have it all the time. But it reminds me of Romans chapter 1. For what can, starting in verse 19, so what can be known about God is plain to them because it has been shown to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and his divine nature, have been clearly perceived since the creation of the world. In the things that have been made, so they are without excuse. For they know God, and they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking. So it just shows the natural revelation, and the screaming of creation of God, in all these things. So.
No, you're right. So for me, I welcome if there is such a thing as an alien presence, because it makes it even worse for the atheists. It makes it really bad for them. Like, come on.
But what about for the Hebrew Israelite? Don't they believe in aliens and spaceships and stuff?
Yeah, and
Muslims, Nation of Islam too.
The Nation of Islam, yes.
They're waiting for the mothership.
We told you.
Mm-hmm.
But that spaceship's only for one dude, though,
Right.
So it's not like, But yeah, it's crazy. But now if you're in the Wahabian, then you're all for this. Like this is right up your alley. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got Pickle Man for Planet Risk and all that. It's crazy. But,
man, I feel like it'll be like Independence Day when they had that party on top of the building. So that's what's gonna happen to them. They're like, oh, we're right. Laser.
I ain't welcoming no aliens. It's a no for me. It's a no for me.
Real racist,
Michelle, like as long as they wear masks and get vaccinated, I'm good.
They ain't gotta be vaccinated. They just wash their hands, put their mask on. I'm gonna give them the gospel.
And wear their masks.
I'm gonna give them the gospel. I'm gonna be like, look, alien man, do you know Jesus is Lord and Savior? I mean, I got nothing for you,
Alien man.
Alien man.
Hey, I don't know what to call you, Zortak. I don't know.
What if he's 6'4" and brown skinned, Michelle?
I don't care nothing about that. You're not a human being. Look, I'm not an interspecies kind of person. Okay, I care if you're 6'4" brown skin. You alien. I don't know you, fam. We ain't gonna do this. Nah. No.
People are crazy.
Well, all Chris, right. Can disembodied spirits travel through space? Is that possible?
According to Red Men, yes.
According to Redman? Oh, you mean you stupid. All right, y'all. So let's do this one. Pusha T has spent years trying to put out a children's book. They won't publish me. On Tuesday, a fan revealed Pusha that he has reverse engineered the track "Keys Open Doors" from Clip's "Hell Hath No Fury" album to make it an educational tool for his toddler. And here's the tweet. I know what is written about, but when I play Keys Open Doors for my 2-year-old, it's actually a non-double entendre educational song. I'm saying Clips is for the children. Shout out Pusha T, right? Well, Pusha T actually responds to this tweet by saying, thanks. I've been trying to write a children's book for years. They won't publish me. Now, are you guys familiar with Pusha T? He's from a rap group known as The Clips.
Right.
The Grinding.
His brother, No Malice, is a Christian rapper now.
Right. He converted. He's a Christian rapper.
He's still keeping the line.
Kanye's boy.
Right. In fact, Pusha T is the president of Kanye's label. Now, he seems to find it odd that he can't find someone to publish a children's book for him. Perhaps it has something to do with his previous literary work, such as, let me show you, from the song Champion, dual pipe exhaust, all we know is floss, I'm cocaine castling, throwing bombs to Moss. Or from the song Open Your Eyes, cook white, turn to tan, so the world's snooky, school of hard knocks, look at where the game took me. Or from the song I'm Not You, I keep that Ziploc busting at the stitches. Culinary chemists, I serve the malicious to break the fiend's fixes. One give you the sniffles, the other leave you with itches. From Grinding, I'm the neighborhood pusher. Call me subwoofer because I pump bass like that. And from the aforementioned Keys Open Doors, open the Frigidaire, 25 to life in here. So much white you might think your holy Christ is near. Throw on your Louis V millionaires to kill the glare. Ashtrays, nada. All you see is pigeons paired. So, does this sound like somebody who you would trust to write a children's book?
No.
It'll rhyme like one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, black fish, blue fish, old fish, new fish. This one has a little star. This one has a little car. Say what a lot of fish there are. He might come up with something like that.
But is he known for that?
People were known for many things, and they've changed their ways.
This is true. And as a Christian, I agree. But what is his reputation, though?
He might come up with a good children's book. Yeah,
based on his catalog, what is he known for writing about?
But he might flip that for kids. Like you too can grow up grinding.
But that's not the question. The question is, what is he known for? Talking about.
I'm trying to help this man. I got nothing.
The booger sugar.
All he talks about.
The rocks.
I mean, and he's very specific. Like, it's not just I'm a drug dealer. I deal specifically cocaine. He don't sell nothing else. And that's
he does make crack. He said from white to tan. I mean, technically, never mind.
Yeah, true, but still, it's the poor man's coke. You know what I mean? He's putting cut in the coke, but still cocaine. Prolific writer. I mean, the man can spit, but it's about cocaine. Look at Carl Rich. He's like, we're not gonna slander Pusha up here. The man can rhyme. It's just he's a one note artist. It's cocaine, cocaine, cocaine. I'll be prolific. I'll be the most magnanimous lyricist, but only about cocaine. Right? So, and you're right. It doesn't mean he can't write a very beautiful, heartfelt children's book. But if we go based on what he is and what he showcases, it doesn't look like that, right? And reputation is important because of verses like Proverbs 22, verse 1. Titus, would you be so kind?
A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. You want me to read Ecclesiastes too?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of birth.
Right? A good name. Like, what do people say about you? Now at one end, it's not that we need to care about what people think, but we need to behave in such a manner that when we come around, people see us in a certain light, right? There needs to be a balance. Ty, can you do this one too?
Dead flies make the perfumer's ointment give off a stench, so a little folly outweighs wisdom and honor.
This dude smells like cocaine. You could smell him a block away. Like that's, he doesn't come across like someone who's gonna actually give you this heart. Again, he can change and he could do that. I mean, he actually is the guy who wrote the McDonald's jingle. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm loving it. That's Pusha T.
Well, I thought
he actually wrote that jingle. Yeah. So he does have the ability to be nice and cute and all that, right? But based on his reputation, on his name, it smells like dead flies because of what he, represents.
But they be letting all these celebrities on like Sesame Street and stuff, and they be playing all kind of crazy roles. So to me, that's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah. Ty, can you do this one for me too?
Mm-hmm. Keep your conduct among the Gentiles honorable, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day of visitation.
Right. So as believers, right, we have to be concerned about how we, conduct ourselves in the public. Because now that doesn't stop people from saying bad things about you, but you want to be so beyond reproach that when they do, they sound stupid. Right? They sound foolish. So you don't want to be out here smelling like cocaine like Pusha T. Right? That's the bottom line here. So
yeah, one of my favorite scriptures talks about being blameless. I think people have gotten away from that. because it's this whole you can't judge people and we want to be so accepting as Christians. And I get that because we should be accepting to an extent, but we still shouldn't, turn a blind eye to people's sin because we want to be so accepting. So it's my 2 cents.
No. Cool.
So I'm going to go off a little tangent here. I think what's important for me, I totally agree with BK, but how come he doesn't have anybody in his circle that can publish him, like for all intents and purposes? And when we did our interview with Dr. Gail on Wednesday, she talked about Christians going into other fields. Like, if you want to get work out there, why can't Christians go into publishing? You want work to get out? Christians, go be writers. You don't have to always, it's not about being a pastor or a layman. I think that, and I told you I'm going off on a tangent, but that's okay. Just follow me. I think it offers an opportunity for us to think about what happens if we can internally produce our own things, particularly as Christians. He has something that he wants to put out. Even though I think if you're going based off that song that you just said, it's not a good idea, but he wants to, though. That's the premise. And guess what? He lacks the resources. And I think, especially in the day and time that we're coming up against, there's more people in our community, the UA community, and just church community at large. Guess what? We should work. If God has gifted you in that way, he's called you in that way, utilize that. Utilize it in that way. So that, guess what? When Chris wants to move beyond his blogs and write something else, okay, he has the resources to do it. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of books, Jerome Gay, pre-order, Whitewash Christianity.
Started today.
Nice segue. You
learning.
Started
today. Pre-order right now. Go right now. Go on Amazon right now. Get your book.
Can somebody put the link in the chat?
Actually, some pre-orders are going to be filled early. So he mentioned that earlier. So you might be one of the lucky ones to get it a little early.
Nice.
I mean, there's a lot of celebrities. That's what I've been scrolling through here. There's a lot of celebrities that have written children's books. And again, some of the movie roles and stuff that they've taken and the language they use, to me, that's kind of hypocritical. Like, you got Madonna on here. Who else? Sharon Osbourne. I mean, how many F-bombs did you hear in an episode of the Osbournes on MTV? She got a whole book. So let Pusha T write his book.
He can self-publish. I mean, to me, like, go on Amazon, write the book, go on Amazon, and just publish it through Amazon. And
he's the president of Kanye's label. I think he knows a couple of people. I mean,
and I think those people are like, nah, man. Cocaine, too much cocaine.
You hurt the brand.
Too much cocaine, bro. We can't do that.
Cocaine.
Can't do it. Just can't.
Crazy. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're pretty much done here. But before we leave, we always like to know what our fabulous panelists have in store for the immediate future. So we will start with Flora de la Cara. What can we expect from you in the near future?
I'm for the streets. You can expect me to be for the streets, stay for the streets, be in the streets, all around the streets. If you see streets, no, I'm there.
I thought you were going to start spinning. I'm like, let's go.
No, because I don't want y'all to be like, you can't write a children's book because your lyrics is explicit.
Ah, my goodness. That's terrible. Dana Dane with Fame, what can we be expecting from you?
We go over this every time I'm on the show.
I'm hoping things change. I don't know. I'm just,
Don't.
Okay.
I'm a ninja.
Like,
you'll see me, like you'll see me here and then you won't. You'll see me there and then you don't. That's all I got for you. That's what I got.
Thank you, Dana Dane. Titus 2, you've been on a tear of late on your YouTube. So what else is going on with you?
Me and Veda go live. We're trying to stay on the every other Saturday thing, but I would love to have more of the Bodega family come join me. So you guys be checking your inboxes. I might be hitting some of y'all up in the near future, but I don't have anything planned per se. I am still working on my Greek life projects. I figure I'll release one video a year and then I'll
Lord.
finish. That's it. That's all.
That's going to it's either going to be a documentary or a book, or maybe both. I don't know.
We'll see.
Right. Victor Von Doom, AID. What can we be expecting from you, sir?
I'm gonna let Phil talk about some of the stuff I'm gonna be doing with him. And
Excuse
Matthew.
me, Mr. Phil Fox.
So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. Tomorrow, Chris and I will be on MJ Jackson's channel, talking about Samuel Say. He wrote one of his blogs talking about CRT and all that riffraff. So so yeah, we'll be like MJ said, we'll be choosing violence for short. So and we're gonna be on his channel, so I think we're gonna be a little bit extra messy, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. So he, I know MJ and Detroit, they sort of they keep it PG when they come on my channel, but I think we're gonna see a good bit of riffraff tomorrow. So
go off the rails.
Yes,
going off the rails was a person.
Yeah. And then I think sometime next week we don't have the time nailed down or the day yet, but it looks like we'll be going and looking at his interview that he did on what is his name's
McDowell?
Yeah, McDowell's channel. So we'll be taking a look at that interview and sort of critiquing that. And but yeah, so I know MJ's got a few other things going as well. So be on the lookout for MJ. MJ is starting to pick up a little bit himself. So that's what Chris and I have going on together. And I don't have anything really planned in the next few weeks because we were going to go on vacation, but due to some health issues and stuff, and we sort of had to postpone that. So I'm basically available for interview or whatever. So if someone wants me on, hit me up.
Nice.
Open invitation. Or if you got something and you want to come on.
Yes, Chris. You're muted.
I want to come and vent about all of the trolls that be coming on my live streams and asking stupid questions.
Oh, man, we could do several shows for that.
It would take several shows.
It would take, for sure.
I'm just working on my blog, Theology and Pictures, part 2. Just got to get that out. The stuff that Fox said. I've been super busy. I mentioned earlier, last weekend talking to like high school and middle school kids about Jesus. I love the missionary work that I do. It's just like so fulfilling. Yesterday I took a bunch of kids to a food pantry, and for 2 hours we passed out food to low income people and got to talk to them and to just be a part. And it was so beautiful. Like this food pantry that we go to and serve at, man, it's like Korean people, it's Indians, it's a little bit of everybody there, and it's just like the beauty of all of God's creation working together, smiling, serving the people, and telling them of the hope that can be found in Jesus. They got a little stage set up where they sing music, do little skits and stuff. So as people are sitting in line, coming around to get a box of food, it's just beautiful. So I love doing that type of stuff. And so yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's me being in the streets. Is me doing stuff like that. And yeah, I'm still fundraising. That's really why I wanted to go last, because I wanted to talk about my fundraising. Fundraising, I've gotten a few encouraging little bumps lately where some people have just like reached out to me and said, hey, we want to support you, and in some very dynamic ways. I'm still behind. As of June, I should have at least 6 months of my support raised, and I'm still behind that. So I'm behind and could definitely use support. Another thing that I'm passionate about is helping us African American. I think in many ways we're behind the curve, socially, culturally in certain areas. Like white churches have had the opportunity to develop their understanding and the role of supporting missionaries, both in the sense that they have, excess wealth because America didn't oppress them like they oppressed us, as well as over the years, how those things function. For us African Americans, many of us are just, are reaching, middle class. And I just say middle class because generally that's where you get to this excess income where you can do things like support missionaries. Often people that are lower than middle class are, kind of still struggling to get by, often living from check to check. So, if you are one of the people who have been blessed to advance in your career and lifestyle and get to a point to where you have excess income, and you see, and you're looking for, if you're looking for an opportunity to support work that is meaningful, that is explicitly talking to people about Jesus, as well as explicitly showing them what the love of Jesus looks like, what it looks like and what it means. I'm in this process of raising support. I'd love to get to a point where I don't have to talk about it as much in public, where I can focus. I can just tell you about all of the great stories of telling people about Jesus, people coming to Jesus, and people getting integrated into local churches and becoming partners in God's human flourishing enterprise known as the church. So yeah, if you have excess income and you want to know more about my work in Detroit, email me at apologistindetroit@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure my support stuff has been put in the comment section down there. You can go there, follow the instructions. You pick my church. The church that I would go to is predominantly white. So if you pull up the church thing, they're working on the website. So where there's a page for me, but right now, if you go there and you don't see me, you're not at the wrong place. You're at the right place. That's my church. That's my family. You click on it. You click how much you want to give, whether or not you want to give it monthly or you want to give it one time. You click missions. On a drop down, you put my name in it, and then you give. So that's the easiest way to give. And then you can also give through PayPal if you don't need a tax deduction. You can also give through PayPal and all of that money that comes to me through PayPal also gets sent to my church. I just cut a check and send it to my church every month, so it counts, and we're keeping track of everything that I'm raising. So thank you, BK, for having me on as a guest and giving me the chance to kind of share with the community about this. And so that's what I'm up to. Yeah,
sounds good. And for me, let's see here, June 3rd, I'll be having Dangzilla himself, Damon Richardson, to talk about his chapter from the Urban Apologetic book. His chapter is talking about refuting the Nation of Islam. And then on June 11th, I will have Dr. Vince Montu to talk about his chapter in the UA book about Comedicism and the Gospel. June 10th, I will have Jerome Gay Jr. to talk about his new book that is for pre-order today, which is The Whitewashing of Christianity. And I'm sure there'll be other little things. Oh, excuse me. And one last thing, June 17th, I'll be having Zion McGregor, and we'll be talking about why the Black church must be relevant. And I'm sure there'll be other things intertwined with that as well.
Yeah.
So, any last words before we're out of here, guys?
Shout out to Val Johnson in the chat. Interludes podcast. Check it out.
Valerie, it's good.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to be a guest on her podcast a couple weeks ago. So
nice.
Awesome. Yeah. So go check it out. Interludes podcast.
It was awesome.
Good stuff.
I got to catch up on Val podcast. I'm a few behind, and to my shame. And I'm sorry, I forgot to message you back last time. I was off of social media for a bit, and then I got the message kind of at a time where I didn't get a chance. So I apologize, Val. I'll get back with you soon.
Cool. And with that being said, it's Florida Delicata, Dana Dean with Fame, Miss Titus 2, Apologies in Detroit, Real American Mr. Phil Fox, and yours truly signing off. Catch you later. Peace.